Hello everyone, this is Mingjong. Welcome to today's market analysis for the S&P 500 E-minis futures. That's for the session of 13th of July. So in this video, I'm going to show you the market recap on the last session, which was last Friday, plus a trade review in the M3 timeframe, which I will cover the entry, exits, and the rationale behind. And that trade actually happened during the London session, and you will see me elaborate a bit more on how I actually held through the trade from the London session and into the US session. So going forward, I will cover the bias, the key levels, and also the potential setup for the session later. All right, so let's just get started now. As you can see in this daily chart, so last Friday was very bullish, and you can see that we have a bit of the demand tail here, which was a test of the prior low on the previous day here. And thing that happened during the London session, I had a trade initiated during that time. And based on the past weeks, I think these 5 trading sessions, this sort of the structure looks like supply absorption from the previous resistance here. So you can see that we have a very big bar here, the supply zone, and eventually we have a rally up and then followed by a reaction. And this is a kind of like a sign of strength rally and then followed by holding up of the gain. So this kind of the structure is very, or I can say that is just considered as a supply absorption structure. At least I would consider that from this supply zone there. And eventually it should just test this resistance, swing high resistance here at around 3230. So anyway, I will elaborate a bit more on the outlook in the video later. But first of all, let me just get into the H1 time frame first. You can see a lot of the detail in the H1 time frame. So this is the H1 time frame. So you can see that one thing that really stands out is definitely this run up here. It's a very smooth and very bullish run up that happened. I think that's the US session there, and subsequently just keep trending up on every single bar, not even just one black bar here. And subsequently, we see this is the session earlier on, today Asian, now the European London session. But before I go into that, let me quickly discuss a bit more here. So you can see that we have a reaction during this London European session, and this actually acted as a test of this prior selling zone here. So actually this tested the prior swing low very close to 3105, but I think it didn't really reach there, probably somewhere around 3110, and followed by a reversal bar here, and eventually it just rally up, and then during the US session is trend very strong. So let me just get into the trade review and in this M3 time frame. So this trade actually happened in the European London session is around 3 o'clock my time, if I remember correctly. Okay, sorry, let me just drag it a little bit more here. Okay, so there we go. So I have already marked up the trade. You can see that here. So firstly, the rationale of my trade is bet on a test and rebound or reversal from the bottom of the support here. So firstly, that's the support level at around 3105. So what I would like to see is actually a test of this prior support level near 3105. And when it comes to the level, we can see that this is quite a nice sell-off. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So that is the very sharp reaction here. and then we follow by a rally, and then eventually you can see that the down wave actually getting a bit smaller here. So this is the very sharp and lengthy down wave, followed by this one, and then the down wave getting shorter. And look at the thrust, the downward thrust there. So the downward thrust is actually commitment to a just tiny little bit here. So we definitely see that shortening of the downward thrust. So that is the first thrust down, there's the progress, and then followed by a little bit there, and then there's a tiny bit there. So definitely that is the shortening of the downward thrust plus the down wave as well. So this is one of the my favorite setup. So what I'm actually looking for is actually some kind of the demand to kickstart the rally. So you can see that this is actually quite a nice run up here, and then followed by holding up of the gain. So every time we see a rally up, we see quite a reaction down, just to negate all the gain. Rally up, reaction down. But in this, the last rally up is very different. So this is the last rally up here, and we see quite a lot of the demand tail here, and also we see that there are some kind of the consistent demand here. So this is what actually prompted me to initiate a long position just right after the break of this localized resistance here. So that is the resistance, and just I think I enter at probably this bar here. Right after the close of this bar, I initiated a long position with my stop just underneath or below this swing low here, about probably 2 points below. And subsequently, I just took partial of my profits at the immediate resistance level. I think this is quite a logical place to take profit. And eventually, we see the reaction down here, and followed by another attempt to break above the resistance level. But it's barely just a up thrust here, and then followed by another reaction. So you can see that one thing that actually coincide of that level here is this. So this is actually my entry level around 3120, and every time it just hit the level, it actually bounce up here, hit the level again, bounce up there. So that actually proves that I think this is quite a nice spot to get long, because it's the level that actually the price respected quite a lot of times. And subsequently, I still keep partial of my positions because I actually anticipate some kind of the bounce, and eventually to actually tested the swing high level near probably 3150. So usually I will just take partial of my profits to lock in the profits, because you can see that this sort of the reward to risk ratio is not too bad, around 1.3 or 1.4. But I took a partial of my trades there, scale out a bit, and just hold the rest of my positions until the US Open. Usually this is kind of a risky trade, because during the US opening session, it's actually pretty volatile. But because I've already locked in my profit and actually raised my stop just below this level here, so I think that actually minimize my risk for quite a lot. With the profits taken plus raise of the stop here, so I think it's a relatively safe bet to hold through the US session. So this is usually how I actually manage my positions from the European London session into the US session, because usually during the US session, I will only take a look at first or 2 hours, 1 or 2 hours, and subsequently you can see that my time there is relatively late, around maybe 11:30 or 12 o'clock my time. Then I will just go to bed. So this trade actually works out quite well. You can see that that's the 9:30 US opening session here. So first of all, we have a down bar, and then followed by some kind of a ding dong there. and we have a reaction down. Subsequently, we have a going up, rally up here, and with my limit exits, then I think it just take my close my position and lock in my profit. So I just exited all my positions here. So that's around 3150 or 52 level. So that is the reason behind, because you can see that is the resistance level. So it's a very straightforward trade, and I think eventually I get around 3 RR of 3. Yeah. So work out a net RR of probably around 2.1 or 2.2. So quite a nice trade. All right, so that is my trade review. But if you look it a bit further, you can see that subsequent trend is really, really nice and strong. So if I hold up a bit longer, then definitely I can churn up a bit more profit there. So eventually it just close at a high there at around 3180. So I think just below the 3180. And one thing that worth to mention, which I will just go into the H1 time frame. You can see that 3180 is actually quite a nice resistance level. I will call it the axis line here, where the resistance and the support become the support here. So this is the axis line here. Okay, so 3180, you can see that just before that is a support level. Subsequently, it just broke below here, and we have tested it one times, and now I think on the Friday's action, it actually just stole below the 3180 level. And in today's session in the Tokyo time zone, we have actually seen S&P 500 to gap up, just gap through this 3180 resistance level, and subsequently we have seen one test here, this one test, and then earlier on we have another test there, 3180. So that actually proves that 3180 is the level that we need to watch very closely. All right, so for today's day trading bias, I am bullish. Why? Very simple, because we see that this is a very strong sign of strength rally, and I think we just had some kind of the resistance at probably around the round number 3200, 3200. And subsequently, I think 3180 is the battlefield that we can prepare ourselves. What I'm actually looking at is some kind of the reversal trade around 3180, because we have seen it happen twice, one here, another here. But should it have a deeper test, then definitely I think this is another level to watch, 3170. You can see that it actually react nicely, provided as a resistance here. So that will become a nice support level to watch for a reversal trade as well. And that actually coincide with the last hour here. So basically, my levels, the levels that I'm actually looking at is from 3170 to 3180. So if there is a bounce up or reversal from these levels, then I might just initiate some long entry. And the immediate resistance or support level that I'm actually looking at, definitely, I think 3200, the round number, is definitely worth to watch, but it's just a very small level. I think as long as we still committed above 3180, which is this support level here, then we should see a test of 3230 and likely to have a uptrust or exit this 3230 level. So what's beyond 3230? Let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay, so you can see that I have one more line here, is somewhere around 3300 or 3310. So that is from the past price action. I think there's a gap there. So the next level is actually around 3300. And So far, I think I will still concentrate on the 3230 level. If it can just break above, then definitely I'm looking at 3300 level. And if we take a closer look here, I think the immediate support level I have already mentioned is the 3170 to 3180 here. And definitely think the swing low here, 3105, is very important. So if we commit above 3105, that's still bullish. But if we just drop below 3105, then we'll start looking at some kind of the bearish scenarios. All right. And let me zoom out a bit or get down to probably H4. I would like to talk a bit more on the bigger picture here, because what I find that is we are still within this big trading range here. So that is the trading range from 2920 to around 3230 there. So one of the possible scenario is looking at the uptrust, inability to stay above or even tested the 3300 level, then followed by failure, which back into the trading range. So it will still fluctuate in between. And I think the price action could coincide with the Nasdaq, which I pay attention a lot, because you can see that this is the Nasdaq 100. So far, we have entered into the overboughts of the channel, and this is quite a climatic run-up. And usually, I think we need to pay attention to this kind of the climatic run, especially is coincide with the overbought channel. And because you can see that it happened here, we have seen a climatic run up and then followed by a very sharp reaction with a big selling bar here. And also this is another overbought with climatic run up and then followed by a sharp sell off here. So what will happen from here on, then we'll just need to monitor very closely, especially to judge the supply level. So far, I think it's still healthy, but with this kind of the climatic movement up, I don't think it will be sustainable to keep climbing up like this sort of the angle or gradient. So definitely correction or reaction to kick in is just a matter of time. All right, so let's also pay attention to Nasdaq as well. And for the S&P 500, I think I've talked about the bias for day trading, for long-term key levels. I talk about that. And also potential setup, I'm looking at a long entry when it shows some kind of the reversal around 3170 to 3180. All right, I think this end of the video for today. Hope you enjoyed it and get something useful out from my video. If you like the video, just click like and also hover to my name or picture to follow me. Do remember to subscribe to my channel so that you get instant notification for my future videos. All right, so if you have any kind of the ideas or comments, suggestion, feel free to comment it below. I will definitely reply to you. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.